Fourth Era, 102. The Elder Scrolls Library deep in the White Gold Tower. A moth priest speaking to a young Altmeri scholar, associate acolyte learning at the library, discusses the nature of what Elder Scrolls are. You come here wanting to study from us, learn from us. You don't tell us why or where you come from, but we take you and we learn together. For these scrolls transcend anything that you or I will ever do in our lifetimes. You asked me to teach you the logic behind the weave, the ones that none of us can see. You ask for a single truth in a sea of possibilities. The scrolls show us what has been and what will be. What do you want to see?
Here in this scene, an Altmer approaches. He's not from here, he's not a moth priest, he's curious. Sent from the Isles on a mission to learn. He arrives to speak with the moth priest. Entering every question he's had has been about the existence of the Elder Scrolls, the scope of the stories they tell. For this young high elf is confused, uncertain, but amazed at the power of the Elder Scrolls. So he'll ask the moth priest, what can it do? What can it tell you? Why can't it tell me?
It takes many years to read, and in that, over time, you lose your physical sight and gain vision over a new realm entirely. Now, in my elder years, my vision wanes, and this other aspect of mine waxes. One such vision had shown me recently, one such truth that it's open to me, is one's contained in the Mirriath era, far in the northern foothills of Winterhold, where long-forgotten ruins, even now, obeyed our efforts to get there. And so, the scroll opens up, and the indecipherable runes light up in a kind of cyan hue, illuminating something to the moth priest and the young Altmeri. A vision of tundra, snow, and harsh land. Rugged, recently settled, but peaceful. Cooperation between three major civilizations: the Atmorans in the north, the Dumeri in the east, and the Falmer to the west, living in a sort of communal understanding for the magics, logic, and martial ability that each provides to their own, none so large that they dwarf the other in any single capacity. Sarthal, a cultural capital, now in the summer of Tamrielic cosmology. Hot. A time where very little war or fights ensue due to the nature of loving the cold by all who reside here. So, generally a peace and a time of leisure. We cut to Sarthal, the largest city. Man has settled up to this point, filled with sprawling ruins and towers, overlooks and redoubts, rivers on the horizon, and taiga all around us. Most of the ice caps have melted, and the Sea of Ghosts to the north is clearly visible with little fog. Actually, one of the clearest times you'll ever see, this view ever. Underneath it, a cultural capital of Domeri scholars, Falmer priests, and the heart of Atmoran civilization at this time, where we cut to a room on the first level of this underground, sprawling megacity, where a war room of sorts is taking counsel over a strange mystery that they've heard about deep in the bowels of Sarthal, seemingly lost to everybody, but signs point out. In this war room, we find our party. And you all can introduce yourselves.
I'll go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Dillion is leaning against the wall with a lovely gold robe. It's faux gold, though. So, but kind of like long curly hair. And he's currently reading a book. One of which you can see the last kind of the title, but part of it has been scratched out, and the only part that's left on there is made kind of at the far end of the title of the book. As he is reading this, he has a satchel on his back and a very kind of mischievous grin as he looks down at the pages and flips through it, kind of like licking his finger and turning it. Very much enraptured on what's happening in the book.
I guess I'll go next. Oh.
Dillion, the elf, pure white skin Mirriath, has been watching you for quite some time. Curious about how the pieces fall here. He's met some suspicion as he's entered Sarthal. But this place is growing too fast to be cautious. At least that's what he says. You're not certain what granted him access to this room, but he's here, and it seems he's trusted in Sarthal. But he does not speak.
In the corner of the room, we see a giant statue of a figure of the most ornate Dwemer armor that could be forged in this era, as Dumac, the excavator, standing there meticulously staring at a gem in one hand while shouldering a very heavy spiked warhammer in the other. Not really understanding quite yet why they're there, but hoping to find understanding and learn from their comrades.
Walking in, it's a large, darkened, black armored, with height to match the elves. Burly, looks like he's seen battle before. His armor is etched with Nordic-looking runes, almost custom to what looks like his personality would be. It's battle scarred, but polished. Looks like the armor has just been taken off the shelf, off the stand where it was. for the first time in maybe a while. Walking in, he looks comfortable. Norb, been in this area before. It's just walking and looking comfortable. Taking a gander at the surroundings.
Before you, the four of you gaze upon this large oak carved runic table, kind of like in knotted, like in knotted bands, covering kind of like the metal bracings around the table. Laid out, sprawled, are battle maps, even of a large, what seems to be a much grander underground structure than you know this place to be. The four of you have spent months here in one way or another one, maybe not at this single time, but in the past. And you know that the majority of the public doesn't see anything of a place like this. Now, there have been rumors that Ysgramor, the leader of this town, and really the lead colonizer for the entire Atmoran effort, hides something in Sarthal. You're trying to find what it is. And so you have these maps laid out, trying to search for a path over. Dumac, could you please, for the first roll of the game, roll me a logic check
Yeah, I
for
can do
to
that.
inspect these maps?
Yeah, logic is 60. So let's then I go through. Oh no. All right, I'm trying, guys. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, 93.
Ooh.
Which is probably going to be, I have my threshold for logic
So
is,
we'll say that
70.
we'll say that a 70. We'll say that for you, this is actually a simple test. You can study these blueprints quite well. It actually does put you. It does add certain bonuses to your roll. That actually does put that below 70. So, first roll of the game. Congratulations, you do succeed. The reason that you're so attuned to what's happening is because you've been looking at these maps for weeks now. And Ysgramor, the reason you're here, you've actually been hired. Somebody in Sarthal is trying to get some Dumeri insight on Ysgramor's hidings. You realize very clearly that the pathways and steamworks that Ysgramor seems to be hiding are Dumeri in nature. And it seems like he's been repurposing Dumeri tech and materials in order to house or power whatever it is he has going on down there. This is an insult to the Dumac family. And I'm sure that you yourself have some personal issues with this. So you're able to decipher where you can go pretty quickly, and you realize that there are several entry points to actually get into these secret areas, right, or to these non-accessible pathways. Around the time that you are able to decipher these, usually, it took you about a couple hours, and unless the war room has anything else to discuss amongst these maps, you guys are going to go to bed for another night, pick it up again in the morning.
Yeah, I would try to relay everything that I can to the rest of the war room before calling it for a night. And though Dumac doesn't have any sort of expression, the tone is very, like you can tell, is very, very distasteful.
You okay there, buddy?
It's not. It's not our. He's using technology that does not belong to him. It belongs to me, myself, and my people. And until we can get to the bottom of what Ysgramor is hiding here, I'm going to consider it an affront to my kind.
An affront.
Well, don't let it stress you out. Like, step by step. Right? Take care of yourself. Have you eaten today?
Uh,
Have you
that's a
hydrated
really
today?
good question. That's a really good question.
Oh my god. All right, let's does
You
anyone know
know,
how to
I've been
cook? I mean, I
staring at
could.
these blueprints the entire time, and nobody has offered me food or what. This is another affront to the Dwemer people. I will not accept this.
Whoa, hold on. Yeah, let's back up on the saddle there a little bit. Now that we have the problem, we can address it. I mean, I have like a loaf of bread in my pack. It's been there for a day or two. It's kind of hard, but you're welcome to it.
Sure. I'll take some if you're offering, I guess. You seem to want me to hydrate and eat food, so if that's a
Yeah,
custom
I just
of your
think it'll help
people,
you.
I will gladly accept it.
It's a custom of me, in general. Um, yeah, I find that as a master of the healing art, I like to be proactive. All right, a lot of the things that happen in combat can be avoided if we take care of ourselves before combat, and so kind of doing that has been my thing. And he'll pull out his loaf of bread and like smack it on the table, and it will probably break part of the table and maybe crack the bread a little bit. All right, I think, like I said, it's hard, but that should soften it a little bit. Push the loaf over.
Thank you. And he'll take a piece and he won't really lift his helmet. He'll just enough to stick the bread underneath, and the bread disappears. You can hear it munching and crunching.
Yeah. Mirriath, have you been staring at me?
It's trivial. Dumac,
Trivial.
you speak of theft? Plagiarism? What is this in Sarthal?
Seems to be ruins, and pipes, and mechanisms deep underground. Not quite sure to what extent, but enough to make me nervous that Ysgramor is hiding something that requires a lot of power.
Of a kind, no doubt.
Like something nefarious? Do we? All right, so we're gonna go into these caverns into the dark, and recover this for your people, and hopefully along the way, build some relationships, tell some stories, and come back all alive.
If
My summary is that a good summary?
Ysgramor wants this, he will get it. We will retrieve it for him. That's what he is. Join the group for. And as a part of the Nords myself, he will have it. Whatever it may be.
This is pretty cool. I haven't really interacted with Nords that much, so
Dillion, you're in.
Is it?
Never mind.
I'm in what?
You're. Who do you think feeds you? Shelters you? Where do you think? Oh,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I have my nose in a book most of the time, so I'm paying attention to external stuff 15% of the time on a daily basis. So I'm trying to work on it.
You start to hear increased footsteps and some shuffling outside. That's it. Nothing more. Just more commotion.
Oh heck
Norb just
no.
kind of cocks his head a bit, just
Yeah.
to
What type of door?
notice of it.
What type of it? So it's an oaken door, but it's kind of wide. It's kind of wide open, leading out to a narrow hallway, and so you start to see more passerbys, seemingly kind of frantically going in and out, one direction or the other. Just a second ago it was quiet. As it gets to evening, people get into bed, and suddenly more people running.
Yeah. I'll poke my head out if that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Norb would like to
Hey,
follow
you're-
as well.
Yeah. No.
Do
Nor,
be
back
careful.
me up, because you're a well-built individual.
I kind of push him to the side as he like attempts, and I peek my head out first to I have like the whole hand on your chest that's just like massive. It's like just taking up the majority of your
Oh
chest.
my.
He's a,
Yeah,
he's
he
a big
will
boy.
carefully fold his book. Now you have his attention. These are massive hands. What do you see with your Nordic eyes, Norb?
People just walking by. Are they
So-
all coming from seemingly like one direction, or is it all
Yeah,
kind of all
So
over the
it-
place?
exactly. It doesn't seem to be orderly. People just seem to start power walking, some of them running in opposite directions. No rhyme or real reason. So towards the right are more like narrow hallways and kind of like residential, almost underground barracks type situation. Whereas towards the left, there's like an open common room that generally has people feasting, and it's kind of like a place to socialize. So you take a look to the left, and it looks normal. Apart from some people running, it looks to otherwise be a pretty happy time, like just like any other night. People feasting, at Morton's drinking, there's meat everywhere. Doesn't seem like anybody's in trouble.
I look
Hey,
back at Dillion and we at Morns enjoy the night. And it seems that everyone is conjoining for a feast. And is it like is it just food everywhere, or is it just like what kind of food is it? Because if it's something that's like really good, then Norb might think about going and joining. Because
This particular night, it is around, like, I would say like 9 or 10 p.m. So it's definitely after dinner, and so you see people passed out drunk under the tables. You see half-eaten turkeys to the side, about to fall off, candlesticks half burned. It's on, right, and it's wrapping up, but you could there's all kinds of I wouldn't say scraps, just leftovers that you're more than welcome to, if to take your fill.
I look at Dumac, and there's plenty of food to go around, and over in where they're eating and partying. So if you would like to join me,
Can I get us a plate? Yeah, or did we want to bring it back and continue working? Like, burn the midnight oil, or do we want to just take a break and enjoy ourselves out there and maybe get to know each other?
Norb he's that's if that's an open invitation, I'm ready to go. Maps not my not my specialty.
Definitely an invitation.
Dumac will kind of turn toward Dillion, and you said that we should eat and hydrate. I guess we should follow Nord.
All right, Mirriath, is this trivial, or is it something that you're gonna do? Mirriath!
I don't trust this. Not for a second, I don't trust this. No.
It's just people eating
No.
food. Where
No.
did you
Happens
grow
all the
up where
time.
you can't trust people?
Where did you grow up that you don't understand when the heart festers? It means you're dealing with the corpse that's risen once more. If there's something hiding in Sarthal, they're not our friends.
Well, if your heart's festering, I got magic. Maybe a few meal plans for the week that might help. It's just come out and join us, Mirriath. It'll be
must
okay.
speak.
Should we just bring plates back? Will you feel more safe in this room?
I should speak with Dumac. Where are they?
Like half my body is out of the door.
Yeah, you just look.
Making my way toward the mic.
Yes. Speak to me.
I'll
Away from here, should you have a chance. Thank you. I'm gonna leave.
I'll nod.
I'm just headed sort of for the shore. Which is just not, it's not, I don't believe, there is water quite close to Sarthal. Not be sure.
Yeah. So you're saying that you walk up the steps, kind of leaving the first underground burrow, kind of up to the city gate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Covering my face, pure white hair. Nobody would think I'm a Nord. My frame alone, even then, layers and layers of coats is enough to sort of fall into some ambiguity, but I think everyone knows more or less right away that I am a Falmer.
Norb's just gonna be piling stuff on a bunch of different stuff on a plate, and then grab it's just a tipped over bottle. I'm just gonna pick it up and swish it around. Sounds good. And he
So everybody
walks
just,
over to
lets it
Dumac,
leave and
just
goes to food.
throws it on the table. It's how's that for a loaf of bread? And then throws it on the. throws it on
Boom,
the
how's that?
Dumac will
And then-
reach
then he-
down.
goes back for another plate.
Dumac will reach down, grab the loaf of bread, turn to Dillion, break it and break a third off of it and hand it to Dillion. I'll go talk to our friend, and I'll continue to follow Mirriath outside.
Okay, well, bring them food. I feel like they're approaching that, stage where the lack of food might.
The festering,
little-
yeah, that's not good. Even I wear
Yes.
the suit of armor all the time, and I don't fester.
Yeah, if that continues, definitely gonna need to get that.
We need to get it looked
Yeah,
at.
but
Well, that's why we have
yeah,
you,
but
right?
hey.
You look at you do that thing.
yeah, I guess I can. Norb and I, with his very big hands, we will enjoy our meal together, and look forward to seeing you guys later tonight.
All right.
On that, he brings over another plate of food for Dylan. Just another one with another partially half things.
Hi, Norb.
Enjoy the hospitality.
Wait, you're sitting across from me, right? We're gonna enjoy our meal together.
I got up and I just came back from getting you a ton of food.
Okay.
Just
Let's not even leave
just
for
getting everyone
a second.
food. There you go.
You're a good
I'm
man,
back
Lord.
and we can sit down and
So
find a sizable
everybody
fork.
gets a chance to eat their fill, and drink the mead they will, make some at More and Friends, right, and kind of experience some of that. This is the center of culture here in what would come to be known later as Skyrim. So enjoying that experience is pretty good for people as far north as you are. Now, Mirriath, you say you're outside looking towards the gates. Is that correct?
I am.
Okay. Roll for me a difficulty ordinary, so a little easier than normal. Perception check, just the attribute.
Perception. Just the attribute. Well. 70.
Okay.
And my perception is 40.
So you see that as it's getting later in the night, the fog is starting to roll in and it's messing with your ability to see, to pierce through the fog, the mist. However, you start to see what looks like, you can't tell how many, but you spot at least 20 humanoid figures rushing from the dark wooded foothills, barreling down towards the redoubt steps. As they get closer, you start to see them as ragged, dirty, some even injured or limping. Majority at Morin families. You see very little in the way of gear, armor, weapons, even magical trinkets and attunements. Seem to be just regular civilians, but quite panicked nonetheless.
Well, that's it then. Paradise is lost. I need to find my friends.
Oh my god. The people, the Amoran families that do get to the gates,
Yeah.
kind of wash themselves off quickly before entering the large studded iron gates. And whilst inside, start frantically running around. And you clearly identify this as the source of the seemingly minimal disruption inside the hall. And it only seems like there's going to be more and more of them.
Was Dumac behind me?
Yes, I'm here with the bread.
This has been about an hour, so you've had time to eat, and you're probably coming to give him some leftovers or some seconds.
Dumac,
Kind of
you're
walk over him.
a mirror of reason. What do you make of this?
It's an ill omen for sure. It's been a while since I think any of us have seen refugees like this. Would I understand fully what's going on, Game Master?
So yeah, people are running from something. As you get a closer look at them, you, being particularly skilled in the way of enchantment, start to see signs of magical burns on some of the Atmorans. Not really fire, more like glowing shards. I would say like gold hue, pale.
Like protrusions almost, or like runes?
Yeah, exactly. Some of them flaking off, breaking or shattering, sometimes even injuring them more or causing them to wince in pain as they run towards the gates.
And when those shards are dropping, like if it comes into contact with anything, is it starting on fire, or is it just shard pops
They
out,
dissipate.
like they act like
They
nothing?
dissipate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems
Clearly
as
nothing
if
permanent.
seems as if they have been harmed or damaged in some way. There's some sort of fire crystals. I can't quite see. We'd have to get a little bit closer for me to examine them. But something that's causing them harm, which is why they're running.
Suddenly, and Dylan, Norb, are you? Both of you are still in the hall. Is that correct? Generally just feasting. Okay.
Yeah.
Out.
Getting
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
There's even, like pickings. It's like it's anything that's left over. Just scarfing it down. No leftovers. No leftovers.
Almost
Nothing goes to waste.
simultaneously, about 6 Atmorans come out of these narrow hallways with residential barracks that we were talking about near the map room, or near the war room where the maps are, pushing through with a silver cuirassed figure with a sort of manicured blade, almost a stiletto like knife, like very thin, made of an almost icicle type shard, just lunging at some of these Atmorans, and they're able to take 2 down in the back a little too slow to make it past out, with the other 4 Atmorans coming out and begging for their lives. Whilst at the same time, Mirriath and Dumac, you both see, or hear, I should say, the sound of too many hoof beats for you to count, and the rumbling of the earth from the same direction of these wooded foothills. As they start to break through the mist, you start to see figures at the time you've never seen in these numbers, or in such mighty garb. In just a moment here, we'll get some little bit of context of what they look like.
Yeah, Dillion's like, holy.
Yeah, I'm standing up and grabbing, and the great sword is just ready to go. If any, slowly approaching if need be. To
Yeah,
just
that same.
if they killed that person, right? Just making sure.
Yeah,
they pierced
2.
the.
Yeah, they
okay,
killed,
yeah, they're gone.
They killed 2 Atmorans.
I'm charging just to draw attention.
So they're not even like targeting any particular person. They're just kind of like trying to corral and get in the room. I mean, there are only two of these units, amongst a room of 40 Atmorans are trying to keep their distance, and they're careful. Dumac and Mirriath in the distance, it almost feels like a second dawn to you. It's almost like a field of magnesium and phosphorus has been lit in front of you, and it's just a white flash of glowing silver armored figures with one brining shining star at the heart of it, wielding a spear made of the same icicle type structure, silver cuirass with long silver hair, pale white skin. I'm not. It's actually so pale. I'm not even sure you could describe it as white. And then pushing towards the city, you feel an overwhelming sense of death if you don't take towards the shelter that the underground megacity can provide you.
Grab
This,
Mirriath, but go.
Dylan.
So this where Norb and I are at, there's that leader-esque person with the wonderful armor, right? Or glaive, was it? Or stiletto?
So he's leading
this?
he's leading the charge in the field. But there's an army of other similar silvered figures alongside him, and that's closely more closely resembling the two that are with you. They seem to be scouts.
yeah.
They have lighter builds.
Okay.
Not as
Okay,
heavy
so
as
there's
the
only two of
Outriders.
them, right?
Mhm.
There's only two of them, right?
Only two. Only two, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Then,
definitely.
okay.
And
Yeah, throwing a loaf of
Yeah.
bread, just like that
and
same one that I
Doom-
had
Um,
earlier. That was pretty hard. I'm like,
I definitely keeping trying to get attention on me to
Okay.
to try and discourage any more
Dumac, you were going to
death.
respond to the magnesium.
Yeah, I was going to grab Mirriath by the shoulder and say, "Come, friend. It looks we need to get inside. It's the best place to defend from, and you can probably go down to our objective from there."
We didn't have time. Okay,
Just turn,
right.
bring up the rear. In case anybody comes up, I'll whack them. But I think we'll try to hastily. That's not a word. Quickly get into the shelter.
Behind you, a guard. You've known him. He's actually snuck you food and welcomed you. As to their cultural capital by the name of Tyrielg. And Tyrielg kind of yells at you to get inside. Please go. It is my job to defend these gates. You hear them close as he pushes you inside these basically, double your size iron gates. And you hear a sliding, almost a grating of metal, and then a snapping. And you can tell that he put his axe into the gate as a lock and broke off its head and bended the iron around it to sort of like to seal the gate in. Tyrell, he carries lots of knives on him, so you know he's pulling something else out for a fighting chance. And you continue back down into the hall where you encounter Dylan, Norb, and the rest of the Etmoran host fighting two Falmer scouts, murderous Falmer scouts, and you guys can decide what to do.
What is so how many people are like running away? Like, is it mostly civilians and people running away? Or is it
Right
even
now,
like guard
no one can.
armed people running
Right
away,
now, no
or is
one
it
can get
just
out.
a cluster?
So right now, no one can get out. It's just 40 people in a room, mainly civilians, because it's the first host, and it's normally where they congregate to eat, almost like a cafeteria. And these scouts purposefully got into these choke points that they know exists in the subterranean area, and they're blocking anybody from coming in or out. So there's probably people behind them, but you don't know. Like,
Okay.
More at more ends, but you're not sure.
Just trying to get a picture of what was going on there.
throw down Norb.
Yeah, go ham.
Well, are they close together at all? Are they like separated?
They're pretty close together. No, they're
different-
pretty close. I'd say about.
Okay.
I'd say like 5 feet.
Okay, then I'm running in. Just gonna like an all-out attack to just try and cleave into the both of them with a mighty cleave.
Oh, ooh! All right, whip it for me. Let's see how it goes.
Well, that's. I have God of War, so I can take degrees. Are you doing
Degrees of success.
Are you doing degrees of success? Just making sure. Yes, no.
Yes.
Because
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. So then I'm gonna have God of War. I take my degrees of success equal to like my combat style bonus. So 5. So that's 5 degrees of success.
Okay.
Crappy roll.
So with 5 degrees of success, one of them seeing the brunt of this cleave coming in with this all-out attack, seemingly does almost a selfless, or could be considered selfless, and he kind of throws himself into the sword to blunt its impact and reduce the damage to his friend. He himself takes the full cleave, and he's felled in one swoop. The second yells something in ancient Falmer you can't understand. Probably a curse, right? And so it's combat. Um, mhm.
Okay. I'm just gonna attempt to just attack the other one that is still standing.
So you did get off that surprise round because you did you know,
Okay.
even though they weren't attacking, even though they were already attacking, you know, you were able to get one round of attack off beforehand, but now we'll just be going into regular combat.
Okay.
So it'll be initiative.
Nothing to help that.
And initiative's just 1d10.
Yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pretty good. All right.
All right.
Mirriath, what was yours?
My initiative, I got an 8, and I have 12 initiative. I believe I start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Mirriath goes first. How would you like to say it?
Excellent.
Looks like to do.
Dumac is my chance. Yeah, at least. I'll cast Sanctuary on him.
Ooh. Okay.
So that's going to be D100 to cast it. I think I need to get 65. I need to get under
Mm-hmm. Matching or under 65, yeah.
38.
Amazing. And so what does Sanctuary do?
With a flare and a flourish, you are gaining my spell strength, additional degrees of success on defense tests for 1 round.
And this would be on Norb?
This would be on Dumac, who is leading me.
Dumac, who's leading, okay. And so next up would be Dillion. You're up.
Let's do all-out attack. Dillion's just gonna follow Norb and just like hop over one of the tables and just like both of his feet aiming right towards the other guy. Do this. So it's an all-out attack, which gives me plus 20, right?
Yeah. Well, it's let's see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you have the AP to do it for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I'm untrained in combat, but I think
Styles,
that's
that's
still
fine.
a success.
Just roll. Just roll 1 D100, not a D10. Oh, you're rolling. Oh, that's how you're rolling 2D10 like 84 or.
Yeah, that was.
You
Oh yeah, 84. I looked at it as 12, and I was like, why am I rolling 2d10 on a roll 20 thing? It makes no sense. Oh god, 84. This is gonna suck.
84. Yeah. So you go lunging with the you're maybe skilled in the arts of restoration. Maybe you have like a staff. So you're probably going in there with like a this glorious enchanted staff, and then you kind of just he ducks with his nimbleness, and you kind of bonk the hard stone, and it vibrates and vibrates you.
Just like fly over him with both my feet, like oh, smack the side, like oh, gosh.
The currents it creates are quite powerful. It would have been a deadly strike had it landed.
It would have been. It would have been glorious.
Dumac, you're up.
Medic.
Yeah, Dumac is going to just lift the hammer off of their shoulder and just casually scrape it across the ground as they make their way across the room, and then just uppercut with it to the first opponent that they see, that they can get to. Probably the one next to Dillion, because he seems to have a hard time.
Yeah. There's only one left, so go.
Cool.
You can get
That's a 25. So that's
Norb was fantastic. Ooh, that's a success. Yeah, that's a success.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's let me find the stats for it one more time. I'm sorry. Okay. Then I roll. What the heck? It's 2d. Oh, it's 2d6 now.
Oh, it's a slash.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
8 points of damage as I bring it up and smack him right in the chest, and then the Falmer needs to make both an endurance check and that beats a 25, and what's the other thing? Make a willpower test with a -20 modifier.
Okay. Fails the endurance. So what happens upon failure?
Upon failure, they're dazed for a certain amount of time.
Dazed. Okay, but basically,
dazed.
you spun them out. They can't really, they're very disoriented now. They don't know what's going on. They crash into some tables, and the mugs of mead start falling on them as the rest of the Edmore and host kind of look down and yell cusses and nasty words, throwing their waste buckets down into the pit that it's created, trying to make sure that they really mess with this Falmer scout who is attacking them in their homes. And you said a willpower as well, so I'll do a willpower.
Yeah, willpower with a -20.
That's still a pass, probably.
Yeah, that passes.
Okay.
Doesn't say what the DC
And
is, but that's
so the scout is going to get up and throw a single throwing knife out towards Norb's direction as a last-ditch effort. One of his legs is broken, one of his arms is broken. He knows he's not going to make it from taking the brunt of the impact. So from both Mirriath and Dumac so far, or from Dillion and Mirriath and Dumac so far. So let's see how that goes. Throws a throwing knife. He's so disoriented from the dazed that it completely veers off, and it can't affect anything that Norb is doing, or just doesn't hurt him at all. And Norbit is in Europe.
So I'm gonna sheath my greatsword and walk up to him, and I'm gonna kind of just try and pick him up and just try and like hold him or pin him against a wall.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's do an opposed. Let's do an opposed athletics test.
Okay.
Ooh, you definitely win.
Okay. So yeah, I just pick him up and throw him against the wall, and just against the wall. Why? What are you doing? Why? Just super intense in his face, like spitting, like trying to. If he's like slightly dazed, I'm like trying to lock eyes with him.
That's exactly what it is. So he's super disoriented. You're bashing him up again. Might have a potential concussion. Doesn't really understand what's going on too well. So he's kind of defaulting to his training in this sort of subdued state, and he's responding by not being cooperative, right? And continuing to curse in this language that you don't understand. You realize that he might not understand you either, and you might need a translator of some sort to speak with this Falmer person.
Okay, well then I slam him against the wall, and then turn to Mirriath and say, ask him why. Ask him.
I'll move to this Falmer. They're on the ground, right?
Wall. Just on the wall. Yeah, wall. I like the wall better.
What does this Falmer look like?
Yeah, so he in particular, he seems battle worn. Something has, put this particular Mer through lots of combat, you see battle scars on the face, and in the uncovered parts of his light armor, even like large gashes of scar tissue underneath like the knee guards and like the arm and like the elbow pads.
The first thing I do is inspect his face. I'm quite young for a Falmer, but I want to see if they're older or younger than myself.
I'd say that they're actually about the same age.
Oh.
He's like a relatively new conscript, and you can tell that he's definitely scared, even though he's seen lots of combat, right? Almost frenzied. Frenzied is the term, right? Even though there's been really no reason to suspect anything like that prior to this.
In what is ancient Falmer, I'll speak a plead, really. Child, you... What is this? Chaos.
You traitor. Why do you
No.
align yourself with these men? Don't you feel
No.
it? Don't you feel its hum? It calls to us.
I feel
Trapped.
it. You come here at night, away from the sun's grace. Is it because you recognize that Oriel's guidance leaves these bodies the minute we have to bury them? They have to bury them. I'm not one of them, but we're all going to die. All I needed was time. You robbed us of that, and you're going to die. We might all die.
Xerxes may favor your quest, but I favor Trinimac. His martial law comes above any research or knowledge seeking you find, you spineless scholar. He just continues to lob these insults.
I want to make a skill check.
Nor just kind of looks back and forth between the both, like ready to whenever, like just ready to whenever.
So, if you were doing a spell just now, you did pass by a single digit. What spell were you trying, or what were you trying to do with that?
Okay.
Because it's
Okay.
65 target number. You got a 64. So what are you looking to do here?
Well, I've cast a charm spell. Affected target becomes receptive to others, and the next character to attempt a persuade or deceive test on them within 1 minute receives a bonus. That is +5 times the SL. I'm going to attempt to persuade.
Okay. Yeah. So he's super susceptible.
personality.
And you also have a +10 bonus. Okay. So, you this is basically a crit, right? Like that. This is kind of what a crit looks like in the system to an extent. So, you basically he. Norb, do you let him go now that he's being receptive and cooperative? He kind of says unhand me.
No.
I'll tell you everything. He's
No,
no.
Well,
He-
I am. He's going to stay there until he starts
Okay.
actually cooperating.
So he thinks that he's sitting. So he's gonna do the sit pose on the wall, like the exercise position basically, and kind of lob there, even though it's very difficult for him, because he thinks he's sitting. And he's gonna be like, well, I'm really glad we can have this nice conversation now that you've decided to come back to our side. I'm glad you've seen the light, right? So now I can tell you what's going on. And essentially, he discusses how the Snow Prince, the leader of their civilization, has ordered the extinction of Sarthal and anybody in it, right? Why the Falmer would so quickly turn to, ethno-state genocide after a peace of hundreds of years, or after a period of hundreds of years of peace between them, is to him unknown, apart from the fact that they say that he hides a deity of the Falmer pantheon in the bowels of Sarthal. So to them, one of their most holy and sacred figures, itself trapped beneath They know that the Nords, or in this case the Admorans, the majority of them don't know about what's being hidden, but they find them all complacent with Ysgrimor's treachery, and so they've decided to take back their welcome and allowing the Admorans on their land. They chose to attack in the middle of the summer on Midsummer's Day, essentially because the Falmer and the Etmorans both have natural frost resistance, and both of them use frost enchantments and magic. And so they want to depend on their Aedric fire and their holy shards to damage and hurt the Etmorans rather than these frost magicka. And you kind of know a lot, right? Like, so this is definitely the same that you were looking for earlier. It's the same, this can't be a coincidence. It has to be something. Except you were just looking for an artifact that you thought belonged to Dumac. Now it's something far more, maybe. You realize that the best option is probably to continue to look for it. At this time, Tyrielg comes running down from the steps, bloodied, bruised, one arm broken. Still alive, though, somehow. He tells you that his battalion perished outside trying to keep the Falmer from getting in the city, but that it won't hold for long. Their army is far greater than anything that those two scouts could compare to, and the only way out is down. Atmorans, in a panic, start running through the narrow passageways, almost being herded down towards the lower bowels that they didn't even really know existed before. So they're just as scared as you are. The trepidation is high. Suddenly, false walls that some of these Atmoran guard captains know about start activating, about 4 on each side. And they start flooding through.
False walls. False walls. Norm, what do you know of these? Anyone, if we can make it, we have to be fast. The crowd will be trampled alive.
Sorry.
Well, you must know.
Just retreat to follow the crowd, protect the civilians. Why?
No.
Was because the majority of what he said was that in ancient, or was that in
I've been
common?
translating.
Oh, it's assumed that
Oh,
he
translate,
that he-
okay.
yeah, that he translated it for you. Yeah.
Okay, then with rage, I'm like I'm gonna take out my hand axe that I have and I'm just gonna cut him and throw him onto the floor, and I'm gonna follow the civilians. I don't know the city in its depths. I know the above and the city itself is that we generally have. I don't know the bowels, but if that's where we must go to survive, then we need to move down there.
All right. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Before you can gather your thoughts about what's to do, and the majority of the room is empty apart from the party, the doors break through, and a horde of radiant, bright, glowing Knights of the Sun rush down in a fury the likes of which you've never seen before. Instinctively, you take to a run. We're gonna add a character. We're gonna do a bit of a chase scene now. All right. So whatever obstructions or blocking that you can think of, don't hesitate. So I'll hear. Let's hear one. How each of you want to prevent this, or at least block it or try to. and then we'll start getting into the running checks, right?
I think Dumac would take their hammer and just try to pummel the ceiling and get as much debris and rock to fall in between the group and these soldiers.
So we'll go one by one.
Dumac.
I'll resolve yours first, and then I'll resolve the others. But let's assume that they're all simultaneous and they all happen at the same time. Sorry, Mirriath, what were you going to say?
Right. Dumac, that is well and good. It'll hold them for so long. But, yes, the catwalks. Look up. There are walkways. They're covered in a sort of domed, cage-like arrangement of wrought iron that runs along the ceiling. Why they're built that way, it's not sure. They're not in use since there are some structural issues. And they're still working on them, but it'll be more than enough for us to get away from the crowd. I think I could climb it. I'd implore my friends to do the same.
So a sneaky path?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll pull out a grappling hook and hand it to you then, with rope attached to the end of it.
Am I expected to
Get
throw
that.
this?
Once you get up there, hook it onto something. I won't be able to climb up
Dillion.
super easy as I'm,
Yeah.
So
motion to all the armor.
yeah, so Dumac, yeah, you're correct. You wouldn't be able to jump up there, but I do want to remind you of your ability to make things where you don't. So it's about 50 feet up, and of course you yourself cannot cast fly or levitate, but you have other options available. Does that change your answer?
Well, are we trying to get up? I guess the question would be: are we trying to get up there, or are we trying to cause it?
That's up to you. That's
Are
up
we
to you.
trying to do
That's
both,
not
or are
a
we
no.
trying to do? I think if I can. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna start by smashing up and trying to get as much rock and debris to fall down as possible. Then I'll figure out how I'm getting up there next.
Immediately as you put the warhammer in the air, several of the Falmer express audible disgust at the hammer that you wield in front of them. They call you a heretic, and they call you other ancient Falmer curses that they're not really sure about. They say that you're cursed in particular.
My only response as I begin to swing upward would be your cause is cursed, and smash the ceiling with.
Okay, so
Ooh.
roll for me a. Just attack it. Let's just do a combat style.
Okay.
Just bashing the check. Ooh.
Oh,
S-
that's
still
an
ooh.
18. For some reason, I thought it was an 81. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, you successfully destroy the main walkway. I said there were 4 entrances, or 4 entrances to these narrow passageways. With that, you're able to take down the main one and one of the side ones. So 2 out of 4 you've sealed off. So only 50% capacity can get through at the same time. That's done. Dillion up next, or Dillion, how would you like to do your obstruction?
Oh God. It's very unfortunate because he's not as athletic, I feel, as everyone else, nor courageous, nor tremendously compassionate in general. So, he's just gonna get out of here. Let's go. We'll leave the distraction to the guy with the big hands, and then there's Dumac, just run. I guess he will drop knickknacks and such from his satchel in the hopes that it will prevent people from grabbing on his stuff. Though
Real
he's
quick,
keeping his.
what was your job or your profession, or like whatever the class?
Healer.
Healer. Okay. So I'm gonna say that in your pack that you dropped is some nightshade, which if it comes into contact with skin, can be very deadly. And so you drop a lot of these different flowers on the ground, like little Mario Kart surprises. You start dashing now that you have less weight towards
and
one of the open entrances.
he has to unlabel it. Like when he pulls it out, there's like a skull marked on it, and he like peels the paper off of it, and it's like, okay, it's okay to touch, I promise, and then runs.
So you can just do an athletics roll for me, and let's see.
Oh, God.
Let's see
Why did
how
you do this
far
to
you
me?
can get.
Don't get far.
No, no. So you're able to get you're able to get through about one hallway before you encounter some significant rubble, and you're unable with the length of your robes to quickly climb up it without some extra assistance. So a little
I chip
far
in?
behind. A little behind, but not. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Can
Norb,
someone help
you're
hold
up.
my dress while I'm going up?
So we've covered off
In my
50% of the. We covered off 50% of the like.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have a rope to climb up.
Of the easily accessible ones, like there's one in this walkway that Mirriath was describing. If
Mhm.
somehow a person would be able to get up 50 feet, but yeah, for the normal accessible walkways, there's 4 of them and 2 of them have already been destroyed.
Okay. Then I'd like to because when you smashed that with your hammer, was that like an effect from Volendrung, or was that just you smashing the crap out of it with your hammer?
I would imagine a little bit of both.
It was more of the
Especially
just
after all the
GM. It was
insults.
more of the hammer. It was really good roll. Was able to bash it. It's not necessarily an artifact quality of extra bashing. Just saying.
Okay. If there's a way that I can try and do something similar to try and just bring the rubble down to try and block off at least one of them.
Okay.
I'd,
Okay. Yeah.
So whether it's can I look for like a weakness in like the arch or some sort of something that I can take advantage of? I don't have anything that's going to be crushing, so.
Yeah, so it's like a post and lentil structure underground inside the frame of the actual like exterior, and so you can quickly identify the keystone in the center of this post lentil structure, and you can try to identify that as a weak point and just go for it right away.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go do another attack for me. Let's see what happens.
With athletics, or you just want combat style?
I'll take combat style for the bashing. Thank you.
Okay, then yes, it's 6 degrees.
Yeah. So it's the best punch on a door that anyone's ever punched. It's pretty good. It does pass. And you're able to like almost with surgeon-like precision bash the keystone in, causing it to crumble. It's almost like in a strategy game when one of your improvements is broken. It's like in that repair stage. It's kind of where you're at. It can't be accessed right now with a big yellow tape on it. And at this point, there's only 2 open entrances out. The one that you just broke was actually the one that Dillion went through. Right, but which still leads down. But in terms of getting there, there's only 2 left. One of them is still easily accessible. The other one will require some sort of something greater. And Mirriath, how about you?
I'm going to call down to my friend Dillion. See you from a catwalk. Dillion!
Yeah?
When you make the choice not to struggle, if you seek to get out of here alive, I suggest you follow me. I'm going to drop the grappling hook from my side of this caged catwalk. You get the rope part, because then the grappling hook catches in the wrought iron mesh that I'm safely
gonna-
held within.
Are you gonna help me up? Like,
This is a mission for yourself.
Hey.
The light of torches shining in. They're
help
coming.
me, Mirriath, just pull down a hand too.
I mustn't. It calls me. It calls me.
No, you must. Just like 2 seconds. I'll be quick.
It
Dylan,
calls
you
me.
can make an athletics check plus 50. You know, with this immaculate health you're getting from your.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Okay, 34 is enough to pass. This difficulty.
So that is an 8.
With 8 degrees of success, yeah. So you got
Okay.
8 degrees of success, right? Plus, but you got that. We got that 50 down. Modifying it later. That means like you don't even like really need the bottom half of your body to get up there. You just kind of like
Oh, hell yeah.
just really fast army drill up. Hop,
Yeah,
hop,
he
kind of
like
thing,
rips
right?
his chest to like get a little bit more leverage and like, flexibility, and it's like nicely silky shaven as he just kind of like oh, right. Mirriath, where'd you go?
Right. Further complication. We're on different sides of the cage. You'll notice the walkway that he's on, that's elevated above the rest of Sarthal proper, is caged all up and down. You couldn't fall off of this walkway if you wanted to. It's sort of like a prison cell that just continues. You're on the outside, so you're clinging to it, the raised platform, while I'm safely on the inside. You can see the light coming from the tunnel to suggest that the other Falmer are en route. They can't get to you, but you can't get to me either. And with a look of panic, I'm sorry. I must go.
No, hold on. I got I'm sure I have like a little wrench
No.
or something. We can unscrew the bars
No.
or something, or
Find somewhere else to go.
going,
They'll pick
I-
you
I
out.
just got
It's
up.
calling me. No.
So
what's calling
There's
you?
a look of terror in Mirriath's eyes, and I'm just gonna dart down the hallway
yeah. Okay.
towards
So-
around a curve.
So at this point, everybody is far enough along that you've slowed 75% of their capacity, right? So enough to really give you a head start. And at this point, you realize you need to start dashing down. I mean, on the maps, for all you know, this is only really 2 levels. This structure, but the maps were showing upwards of 10, 12, right? So clearly, much grander than one would assume or have seen to this point. You realize you need to start getting down some of these quickly in order to start putting some distance in between you and this invading force. So we're gonna go into like group tests now, where I'm just gonna see a majority. Everybody's gonna roll similar rolls and see if there's a majority of them and what happens on each particular, like a skill ladder kind of thing, right? So everybody, please roll your preferred athletics, acrobatics, or related magic to get away, such as levitate, slow fall, fly. that
I
kind of
am.
stuff, right?
Oh wait, no, I got some acrobatics. I'm a novice in acrobatics and athletics. I'm not completely unswole.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oof. Oh.
Realize it.
Oh.
What do I do with
Right,
that? Do I just explode?
I'm
or...
going to take a soul
So-
gem and try to carve runes into my boots and enchant them
Okay.
with flying.
Yeah, you definitely do that. Okay, so do a
Awesome.
quick enchanting check for me.
Enchanting would be a master at that, so that's
Ooh, gotta love that Dwemer innovation.
oh, wrong way.
Oh.
Wrong way. There we go. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Cool.
Okay.
I'll take a second.
Those
I'll
boots
take a second
fly.
18 in a row.
Those boots fly. They will not run out of enchantment in one day, and you're allowed to use them as much as you'd like, without any penalty. You can also give them to somebody else in the case that you don't need it anymore. And so you have these boots that fly. So you just, it's a kind of wide open, you're starting to get into like a cavernous section that it's kind of built into the side of the rocks, where there's like kind of natural land bridges going down for these first couple levels. And you just kind of walk down them. You just kind of step off the bridge and just start walking down these levels. Mirriath, what did you roll for me?
I'm going to roll for a spell. I wish to cast Chameleon.
Chameleon. You matched. And so you're able to you're able to cast Chameleon. Yeah, so with the matching is fine. You're able to cast Chameleon. And you just kind of start slipping your way through things. This was enough to advance you further than, that you're going faster than they are currently. Dylan, as you start to, you got a poor acrobatics roll, right? You didn't really jump anywhere, but you realize that you're like, isn't anybody going to come after me? You turn around, and the very first soldiers you see are like sick to their stomach. Some of them start falling off the bridge. They're turning purple. You realize the Nightshade is having its effect on the initial followers, and they can't get through. So you're able to get down to level 3 of like the 10 or 12 level structure without much issue from everybody.
I feel like he's just falling the whole way and tripping over any roads.
If you juxtapose them, Dylan's falling not gracefully, and Dumac is just kind of power walking through air gracefully. Right? Is the comparison?
Can I catch him as he's falling?
Yeah, why not? That's fun.
I'll carry you.
Oh.
Did you eat enough? Are you hydrated?
Full circle.
I don't think I've been taking care of myself recently, so I appreciate you checking in on me, Dumac. So
Clearly, you were falling from a rope.
Yeah,
Here,
I'll just hold on tight to your wide chest, and you'll carry me to safety.
There's some bread in my backpack.
Oh, hell yeah.
You guys are still eating?
I'm like Superman pose flying. Dillion's on my back, like trying to pull out some bread.
I'm like Twilight. I'm your spider monkey.
Felmer are chasing us and dying. Just a normal day. Normal day in Skyrim.
Yeah, normal day in Skyrim. Oblivion, Elder Scrolls. It's awesome.
At the top of this walkway, you guys kind of look up and you see this like sort of chameleon camouflaged figure, like barely reflecting enough light, but still can't really tell what it is.
You'll hear Alisil, Asma, Auta, and then deep breaths.
So that's creepy. Don't know where that's coming from, but it's definitely.
Anyone else hear that? Someone should swing their sword around violently.
Randomly violent.
That's scary.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, Norb gunned for it, and so
Yeah.
you can slash wildly if you'd like, but you don't have.
If I'm hearing some sort of Falmer sounding voice, I'm going to
True.
just keep. I want to just kind of keep myself at the ready in case anything pops out for me. Because if I'm hearing voices in the place that we're fleeing from, I probably should be prepared for if something jumps out, even if we are moving ahead of the. So, if hearing these voices is going to definitely keep my eyes out.
Gotcha. Paranoid, Everybody, goes down to this third level with Mirriath being the only one, not really knowing if he's saying a prayer or purposely scaring his colleagues in ancient Fulmeri, but that's how it goes. And so we'll start our second set of rolls for this chase scene. We'll go in order again. Dumac, or I think last time we did Dillion. Actually, just whoever was first. I'll just go in order. whoever rolls.
How far? How open are we in right now? Or is it just like is it like a large cavern? Not cavern, but like cavern, like wide moving, or are we still in like the small, or in like the smaller entrances?
No, so you've really gone out into a big wide open space that at least lasts for another level, but they are separated as it starts to leave this like ferny, mossy area, and it starts to go into like a crag, where there's very, very little plant life and vegetation, sharper rocks, more stalagmites and tights. So.
Okay. Because if there's a spot where where it's condensed, or like there's a way to block off our thing, I don't mind. I'll probably, whenever it comes to that, I'll do something. But till then.
Okay. Generally, we're running trying to keep with the Atmorans, so we're trying to follow them to make sure that we're below you. You can see like a crowd of people still moving at a faster pace than you are, avoiding danger. So you want to make sure that you keep that buffer in between them, and just or watch out for any other scouts that could come up from anywhere. So rolled. So okay, so 75 for Dylan. We'll see how that goes. Mirriath, Norb, and Dumac. Whatever your particular roles are as well. Could be anything to get out. Dumac, in your case, you don't actually have to because you're flying. But, if you wanted to craft something else or use this to do something else, you could. You particularly.
Yeah. Well, so what's do we know where Mirriath is, or is Mirriath kind of like?
You have no idea. Because last time you saw him, he was on these catwalks, and then now you're hearing voices. You don't know what's really going on.
Can we get
Alisil, Asthma,
can I?
Huta.
There it goes again.
Can I fly up near where the catwalks are? Like, is it like
yes.
The catwalks are here, and I can fly and like be parallel to?
Of course, you just toggle no clipping, and you just go on up there.
Okay, cool. Have anything?
Is anyone else hearing Satan?
Anytime
it's actually dangerous. I mean, which prince was that?
No. Satan.
That's
the
true.
Daedric Prince Satan.
I will say that this would actually, you get so close, this is an effortless difficulty test, meaning whatever you roll, you get a plus 40 bonus. So if you want to do like a perception even roll, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'll take a perception roll, and I want to see if I can find or identify like a way to like put Dillion into the catwalk, like if there's like a break in the mesh at some point, or if the mesh just keeps going on, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You definitely find one. You definitely, you're able to get such a good view.
Not even trained in it, guys. It's okay.
So it's less than 1, right? Because it's a plus 40. It's such a good roll. Regardless of whatever your degrees of success are, that you see Mirriath right through the chameleon, because it's only chameleon, it's not invisibility. So you're looking right through this refracting light, and you just see this pale elf, like kind of Naruto walking on this wall, feet feet on the wall out, just kind of like ooh, just looking down and just talking, right? And also you see an opening in the mesh that Dillion could get through the and kind of get on the outside of it at the same time.
Awesome.
Right?
I'm gonna go and place Dillion there, and then I'm gonna turn around and head toward Norb and try to grab Norb. Jump, my friend.
Norb, do a quick roll for me, and
Okay.
Mirriath, you too. I just want to see how this goes. Okay.
If that's a oof.
And Mirriath. Yeah, it's exactly what it
Mirriath or
sounds like in
Dumac?
these dank hollows.
I don't like that sound, guys.
Yeah.
I just need to see one quick D100 roll from you, Mirriath.
Or Dumac. You mean Dumac?
No,
Who's picking me up? Oh, okay.
no. Okay, so
That's-
Logan was successful, but between Dylan being pushed towards the mesh and being kind of clumsy about it, Norb same, trying to go towards the mesh, being clumsy about it, and Mirriath up there, ooh, like a little bit, like the advance that was made is now lost. You start to hear footsteps gaining, as you know, basically in the same decibel range as it was when you started the run, and so you're back to square one in that sense. Eventually, Dylan and Norb, you guys get through the mesh. Mirriath, you can choose to go through it or not. It is up to you, or rather you are. I'm sorry, and then I'm sorry, Dumac. Dumac, you can choose if you want to go to the mesh or not with the rest of them. You do? Okay, so the four of you continue. I imagine Mirriath is done with the spooking. Goes down to another 3 levels ish until you get to about 6. At this point, you start to get into some of the more classic, like Draugr ruins, ancient stone pillars, and such. The Atmoran host is you catch up to them. They are obstructed by something, and you see, and anybody who's played Skyrim would know what this is. Okay, you would see 4 pillars, 1 in each corner of the room, with 3 animal motifs in tablets on the pillars. In front of them, the code or master sequence destroyed, probably from the rumbling or some combat, as you do see some more dead Fulmari scouts around here, and they're stumped. They need your help.
Trivial security.
Trivial.
Don't
Keep
feel
saying that.
kind.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Watch your tongue, Falmer. It's your people that are hunting us.
What?
Flanked by my people and your mundane traps. This is a puzzle you could solve. Could you know? Dumac, I would speak with you post-haste. I'm worried what we might find.
Norm just goes to the watch out in case anything comes out of where we're being chased from. I'm gonna be security on that.
We'll play with the puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, Dillion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't die,
I'll
Dillion.
I'll let Dillion do his thing, and then I'll kind of turn toward Mirriath and see what he wants.
You'll find me in the alcove on the other side of this small atrium.
All right, what is with all of this nonsense that's going on right now? You're speaking different languages. You're hiding in alcoves. I mean, I get it. The Falmer like the dark. So do the Dwemer. But this is a lot for you, I would think.
We have no issue with the sun's light. Something strange is here. It's not apparent to me why we're being called. But my people heard it too.
You will
I was
notice
here
Mirriath
because
is
I
getting
thought I was the
stronger.
only one. I thought I was the only one. I thought I had time. If I knew they would be following me, I would have had them seal the gates. Or everything. It's clear to me that's what we must do.
What's calling you? What are you searching for here?
There's power at the heart, the strength, the burning. Oriel's light.
You are close enough now that you can tell that the primary emotion is yearning, that this thing is influencing or exuding on you, Mirriath. And so it almost feels like you're losing a family member, and it's kind of instilling the same fear, panic that would cause. You know, and you're like frenzied to get closer. Dylan, you said you wanted to play with the puzzle.
Yes.
Could you make a logic check for me?
I could sure try.
Okay.
Oh!
Woo! Okay.
Oh!
All right. So, something that you have learned in your time in Sarthal is the hunting areas of the different Atmorans who live there and where you get generally your food from. You start to notice that these motifs match the creatures that Atmorans feast on. These include they include snakes, eagles, and sky whales.
That's not a thing. You made that
It
up.
definitely is a thing. It definitely is
Oh
a thing
my
at this
God.
time. And they drop something called joy snow on the people. So.
Thank you,
Sky whales
Skywhale.
are a thing. Yeah. We'll decipher.
Dropping-
We'll unpack that one later. But for example, there's like that whalebone bridge. That's a sky whale. You see in Skyrim, so you see, so you know that they and that they match different cardinal directions. So there's one in the northwest, one in the northeast, one in the southeast, and one in the southwest. And from this check, you know at least two of those sites. So you're able to decipher that the southeast generally is used for sky whale hunting, and that the northeast is usually used for like snake and reptilian hunting. So you're able to put those two together. You're not familiar with southwest and northwest hunting locations.
Yeah. Hey, Norb. There's some hunting stuff. You're intellectual. Come on over here and help me with this.
I kind of calm down for a second and then walk over and. What do you need?
Okay, so I figured this is like Snake Passage, and this is Sky Whale Passage, which I don't know. These lands are weird. But these other two I haven't figured out yet. Do you have any idea like where do those passages lead to? What animal is associated with it? Do you actually eat it?
Eat anything that we hunt, but just don't. I don't enjoy wasting. Neither do most Atmorans. What I know.
I do
the
think
hunting locations.
I do think that it would be much easier for you. So you will get a plus 30 to whatever logic roll on this. You know, because you are more definitely likely to know where they are.
I'm gonna think back to my younger days of leisurely hunting. See if I can recall.
You definitely do. You definitely do. So with that, the Southwest Eagle is the correct. You know that's where they other aviaries, harpies and eagles are hunted in the southwest, and in the northwest, actually north of where you are now and farther west towards the misty areas of the Forgotten Vales, more sky whales, and so you mark that. As soon as that happens and you put that last one in place, all four click together, and the massive door opens in front of you after what looks to be basically something exactly like this that you see. Now that they've they've been put together, and it opens up, and you're able to go through. And the Atmoran host thank you profusely. In fact, as a whole, Atmorans know very little magic, but they almost come together to almost cast like a spirit energy restoration type spell, and they give you all a minor fortify health. And you hear that sound when it happens to you, right? And everybody's health
Thanks,
increases by
guys.
5. They say to you in unison, almost like well, I wouldn't say in unison, but like in one united voice, like what they're saying. But of course, like in crowded voices and thank yous, all this stuff. They're just extremely and profusely happy that they have people like them, like you guys guarding them. They even look at Mirriath and they don't treat him any differently. They've held happy and peaceful relationships with the Falmer up until this point, and they actually have no idea why they're at this point, like basically almost family and friends, neighbors, are attacking them. They also have heard rumors of Ysgramor hiding things underneath this place, and they were all there to hear the charmed Falmeri scout discuss. They were, they were ahead of you, but on their way there, they discussed their unhappiness with what they haven't been told and being forced into like this Helm's Deep type of situation that they didn't really have to be a part of, right? Like that they didn't have to do, as somebody just told them. So they're not exactly Atmorans affiliated anymore. They're just trying to survive. They're just civilians like anything else, like anybody else. So for now, we're gonna take a 10-minute break as we're a little over halfway, and we'll come back at 10:03 to get into this, second, third, or half. See you in a bit,
Yeah,
guys.
dungeon diving.
All right, and we're back. Norb, Mirriath, Dillion, and Dumac, along with the majority of the Edmoran hosts still alive, who fortunately was able to make it through with them. Many fell on the way here as the hallways were cleared, almost fumigated by the oncoming force. But at this point, on the other side of this particularly Nord culture-related puzzle, the party is able to close the door on the other side and reset the puzzle pieces remotely, effectively preventing the invading force from getting through the absolute lower levels of Sarthal. Behind them, however, they turn to find, it's an out of the frying pan and into the fire situation. Immediately in front of them, they see 3 Nords kneeling. One, a woman almost triple the size of the other 3, blindfolded and in chains. Behind them, a host of what seemed to be the most decorated Falmeri knights you have encountered thus far. Mirriath, you instantly recognize them as member of the Snow Prince's personal guard, effectively the royal guard for this faction, right? For your people. At the heart of them, a general, you can tell by the headband, almost crown that he has, only given to high-ranking members of Falmeri society. Those usually associated with the Chantry of Auriel far to the west. They tell you, that's far enough at Morins. You ran, but it's time to walk into the blade honorably and allow us to atone for the sins you've made, willingly, knowingly, or not. Surrender, or these Nords die now, and then yourselves.
Don't kill the Nords first. You should probably kill, and he'll point at Norb. You should kill him first. He's pretty violent
Dillion.
and tough.
Yeah.
But they're innocent people. They might as well throw down with us. I think we could take them, maybe.
He introduces himself as Athlor, and Athlor continues to go on for a little bit until he trails off while the party speaks to him.
Look, if you are honorable, send your best, and we'll send our best, and we will we'll figure.
I already stepped forward. I stepped forward.
Dumac, what were you going to say before that happened?
I was looking at Mirriath, and I said, Mirriath, do you know these people?
Well enough to know I can't do it. This isn't my fight. Dumac,
This ain't your fight. You're just an escort.
these aren't your people. They're not mine, Dillion. Dumac, they're yours neither. I can't spill the blood of my own kind. I'm here because I wish to save them from themselves. Mirriath turns away so as not to look at the Falmer, but doesn't leave because he knows what's to come.
Then you are a fool.
Right.
And he commands
hug Mirriath?
Yeah, please, let's do that. Let's resolve that. Let's resolve hug first, please. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Can we get a comfort check in here?
Can we get a comfort check? Yeah.
Hey, you got a lot going on. We're here for you no matter what.
No.
So he was giving a signal of some kind?
Yeah, so while the hugging is ensuing, almost in with the largest contrary juxtaposition possible, while there is hugging ensuing, and Edmore and host fearing, he orders them to unsheath their weapons and put them at the necks of the. And he says, "Listen, either surrender now and submit to the sword, right, or they die and then you, right." And so he's going to repeat himself one more time, but he is going to start kind of like grumbling to himself, and until he finally, exasperated. How could you? We used to be friends, neighbors. I bled for Nord blood in the past. I've bled for Dumac kin in the past. We live long lives, and I remember beginning times that you can't even fathom. I don't know why men came to our lands when they don't belong in the place the Earthbones created. Not only do you, with your short mortal coils, continue to inhabit and take resources, but now you imprison one of our own and keep them with Dumac projections. In league, you all are. Against us, you won't stop until you see our extermination, and so we must act first. Preemptively. I never wished for this, but you drew me towards it. Prove to me. Show me evidence. Why should I believe you? And he turns to kind of like Mirriath for the Falmeri perspective, Dumac for the Dumac perspective, and regrettably or not, Norb for the Edmoran perspective.
He's not looking at me?
He's never seen what you are before, but he knows that this place is home to like many different peoples across Tamriel. He considers you an even less important species of man, invading to the west as well, but like so out of his purview that he can't even begin to think about how many more there are yet.
That's fair. He'll take out volume 2 of his book.
No, you can still talk to him. You're just like, oh, fine, whatever.
No, I'm not important
away.
to him. Like, go look at these 3. Like, let me know when someone's bleeding.
Oh my
Norb, he looks towards to the both of them. Say your piece before I say mine, because if I say my piece, then I'd rather you get yours out first.
I have nothing to say to them. I don't have a way to convince them. The disaster. This is wrong. Dumac.
I don't know what lies beneath us. I don't know what this relic you're searching for is, or how my kind took part in its capture. It's down there. The 4 of us will find it and bring it to you, if possible.
Wow. Okay, that's actually like the only thing that really, is super effective on this person, right? Because that's exactly what they want. So,
oh shit!
Roll for
All right,
me.
cool. I was just bullshitting, but it's okay.
Because he doesn't know if you can guarantee that, but he's more willing to get the thing back than he is to.
Dumac,
He's more willing to hear it out. Yeah. So roll for me a persuasion check. Let's see how that goes.
Persuasion check.
And it will
cool.
be, and I will say that whereas normally this is like a like a very hard difficulty, it'll now be like a challenging only difficulty. So -10 to whatever you get.
Yeah, I'm untrained. No
Oh,
way!
but
No
Oh.
way!
All right.
Look at that.
That is
Yes.
technically a
Okay.
success.
Okay.
Oh man.
Athlor immediately releases the hostages. Immediately, just cuts them, cuts them off, and they pass by you. First Atmoran, Sven, thank you. Skull, thank you, and Steer, thank you. And they just kind of like they're triplets, so they kind of look alike. They sound alike, and then a sister of theirs, but not one of them. Their mother was a giant in the Atmoran lands. Woman is very old, probably one of the oldest Atmorans you've ever seen, because men don't live very long. And she was actually born in Atmora and migrated, rather than being born in Tamriel, which there are very few of at this point. So this person kind of speaks to you, and while she's passing you, whispers to Dumac specifically, and to Mirriath. Ysgramor was scared that he couldn't control the land. He's not scared of the Falmer. He's not scared of the Dwemer. But he amassed his armies, his best warriors, short of going back to Atmora and gathering more companions, towards the south, to an enclave where there is said to be untold technologies, something unfathomable. A machine that can think for itself, made of unknown metals, spewing unknown gases. It took him years, but he was able to trap its consciousness into an orb made of a creation of yours, pointing to you, Dumac. They don't search for their deity, although they might perceive it that way. They search for a comrade, lost, trapped. Not divine, but not human either. Or not a regular Mer, I should say, either. How do you, and she kind of goes off to, like, that she's so old, she's able to remember that some of her family members, the uncles, her uncle or the father of these triplets, died in one of these raids trying to imprison whatever this was and bring it back to Starthal. Hence why the majority of them don't know about it. Athlor already found that out, and that's why he was waiting here with these people, as they consider them the only ones who are, who knew and maybe deserved to be put to the sword over anybody else. But with your promise that the orb will be given to them, or at least taken away from Ysgramor, he's able to tell his honor guard to at least stand aside, but he still says that he needs to test your worth. He turns to Dillion, and fine. If you want this contest, I need it too. I need to make sure that whatever horrors you'll find down there, the likes of which neither of us know, that you're ready for. Show me.
Hey, if you want an evening whoop ass, we're happy to oblige.
He turns to Norb, who's been chosen as the champion.
I'd be more than happy.
They're gonna 1v1 right now in front of these circle.
I know, right?
So
I'm like his hype. Be like, step up, man. It's Nor about to
Give him the water
flatten you.
bottle, the towel, the bell. Yeah. It's on. It's on, right?
I'm just gonna ring my helmet for the bell.
Yeah, Nor,
Yes.
turn off.
Bing.
Nor,
Yeah.
turn
Okay.
it off.
So
It'll make it better.
So-
promise.
we'll
Turn it
do
off.
some like just unarmed pugilist combat. This is gonna be just straight punching. This is gonna be just straight punching.
Okay.
people. Not that he's trained at punching either, mind you, but he's willing to take
Okay.
an untrained approach because of the honor of it, right?
Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Let's go. Let's go.
Just wrap your axe with your hands, and then it's a huge.
Yeah, just hold the handle of the axe and swing it with such velocity.
You willing?
Yeah.
You willing to donate hands for this? Are you willing to donate some hands?
Yeah, Dumac, donate some hands.
Oh, before he starts, can I
Oh,
take
shit.
one of my? Can I take one of
right.
my soul crystals or soul gems,
yeah.
and like etch into his palms runes to help enhance his bludgeoning capabilities with his fists?
He can wrap the like bandages. Like bandages are fine, and you can put the runes on the bandages. That's fine too, right? So like
Okay,
same
works.
thing, right? Like and
Yeah.
so you
Okay.
you know so roll me an enchanting check. And what do you want? Do you want fortify unarmed? Do you want fire effect, ice effect? Like whatever you want.
Fortified unarmed, what would that do in relation? Like, would that just make him like a little bit more
Like
proficient with it, or
It would give him
more damage,
if it
or-
was high enough. Fortify unarmed would give him a better chance to roll, and the effects would.
Yeah, are we
would
cheating?
no? We're not cheating.
Well,
No, I'll just stick with fortified unarmed to help with the chance of
He'll-
this hit.
Athlor considers himself a high-ranking general, and they're already both hamstringing themselves with just unarmed. So he's okay with whatever enchantment this random at Morin will get, because he doesn't think that he can that he'll lose.
oh,
right.
well.
He is testing,
if-
but he's
That's a
haughty.
24.
He's haughty.
Can I'm gonna fortify Norb as well, if that's okay.
Yeah. You're gonna casting restoration. Let's do it.
Just
let's
buff.
do it.
I'm.
Athlor's
buff
whatever.
me.
As long as it's hands, as long as it's these hands, I don't care what it is. I don't care what happens later.
He's gonna
Summon
get more. He's gonna get
Desert
these
Eagle.
hands. He is going to get these hands.
He's gonna get these hands.
So much hands.
He's gonna
All
get.
the hands.
He's gonna get so much hands.
All right. So I'm trying to. All right. So I'm using fortify level 7.
Oh damn. Okay, so that will increase his skill up to master rank if it's successful. So just roll a d100 for me, and let's a restoration check, and let's see how this restoration check would go. Your target number
Alright.
should be your restoration should be damn, this is gonna be wild already, because it's
Oh.
gonna be
Oh my god.
your master restoration. That's fine, because you get a minus 40 from your skill rank. That's enough to pass. It passes.
Heck yeah.
Norb, you now have master unarmed for this fight.
Okay,
Dumac,
good.
Did
Okay.
you? And you rolled your enchantment. That passed for sure.
Yeah.
What do you want to put on it now that you know that Norb has max
Well-
roll? You can do damage or enchantment or something else.
Yeah.
Let's
Mirriath,
do,
throw a
um,
fireball. Let's go.
Can I think.
Look what Norb
the-
can do with his hands.
It's just a buff.
I
It's
think
just
I'm
a
gonna
buff.
give him.
Sanctuary.
Can I give him some lightning, like some
Yeah,
electric
yeah,
damage?
Yeah, add lightting effect.
Yeah,
add
I'm gonna
lightning
give him-
effect.
I'll give him
Sure.
some
It's gonna
lightning.
be some shock damage.
Yeah,
The
that's
enchanting
natural
menu
to
pops up.
hands.
That
Just
UI
becomes
pops
Thor.
up, and you just pop over that property, add lightning enchant, R to confirm buying. Window goes down. You look back at it, has lightning runes on it, right? And you're able to start. So let's go for this punch fight, right? Let's see what happens.
I'm
Yeah, one
Ragnarok
punch
Floor
this
right
guy.
now.
One punch this guy. So
One
I
punch-
rolled
One punch
already,
man.
and I got
There we go.
100.
I did
got
too. I
100.
rolled right after you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I got 108. Athlor is gonna come on, and he swings, misses, breaks the pillar behind you. You do hit him, for sure. And you say you're able to use up to 5 degrees of success because of that trait of yours. Great.
Yes. Let me double check to make sure.
This is
Yes,
one
yeah.
punch.
It's
This
just
is
a combat
one
style.
punch.
So, or no, I can take
Yeah,
that
yeah.
instead. So yeah, I'll take the 5 degrees then. I'll take the 5 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll take the
Well,
5.
only with two people in range. Only with 2 people in
What do you
range.
Well, you need
So
two.
there has
like,
to
it
be
needs
2 or
minimum
more
of two?
people. These 2 or more people in range for me to fight.
Oh.
In range of me fighting. But I can take an extra degree of success because of brawler. So I'll take the extra
Okay,
one.
that's cool. Hey, cool. Brawler seems pretty useful here. So 2, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So you do
Oh,
get him in
damn
the
it! Nope,
jaw.
that's also 2. That's also 2. Sorry. Anyway,
It's okay.
as long as I still hit.
It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, you do. You pop him in the jaw. It dislocates for a second. He snaps it back in. Everybody else, winces from seeing that happen. And it goes back to punch number 2. Let's go for it.
Oh God, Norb, you made him your bitch.
Oh, sorry. And could you roll a quick D10 for lightning damage for me?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll resolve that before the 33. Just want to see how that goes. Okay, so you do deal like a significant amount of lightning damage to him, right? His magic resist is not the highest. Okay, so he does hit you on the second one.
Mhm.
Right, and
I'm still armored, right? Just have the gloves off.
yeah.
Or no.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay. Okay.
So you take 10 after your AR reduction. How much does that come out to? Or your
1.
1? Wow. Okay.
I have super
So
heavy
you-
ebony right now.
Okay. And okay, awesome. So and he took the full force of it, but he has pretty good armor too, right? This is gonna be like cue the raining, the dramatic music that's going on, right? You're locked in this duel of fates right now. So we'll go for another one. Another hit. Only take 2.
Ooh. Oh, it's
A
still
miss.
max though. That's a bit. Is it a miss?
Yeah.
The max. Okay.
Probably. I don't know your stats, but I'd
Okay.
say maybe, most likely, yeah. So next one. Another hit. Barely anything. You guys are starting to get to the point where you're both punching each other. But yeah, it's a little like where you're, it's almost like two superhumans fighting each other, where they both have super strength, but they're both really high defense. So everybody's taking these hits, but kind of nothing's happening. It gets to the point where you do that for about an hour, I would say. Where you're just like punching.
Okay.
While this is happening, Mirriath approaches his friend Dumac.
We must go. This ends slowly. It doesn't matter. They all die. We need to secure it. Seal it away.
How do you know that everybody dies?
There's this yearning. Snow Elf moves closer to you, out of fear that he would reveal too much. Dear Dwemer, there's so much power here. Nords, come, please come. I'm gonna beckon you to follow me. There's a hallway. At a strange angle, it's hard to spot. Once
It's
you
true.
see it, you can't
There-
miss it.
There is something behind, and it's just like where the next step is. There's no lock on it. They were just guarding it, so they didn't expect you to get past this point. But you're right, you could, right, pretty easily.
I'll follow, and as I do, I'll take out a caltrop, or I have caltrops in my bag, and I'll take one out as I do, and I will flick
Okay.
it toward Dillion, and just kind of, as I'm backing into the space following Mirriath, just do the as I disappear into the alley or into the little alcove.
Both of you
following
roll a sneak check for me, and if you would like to
Excellent.
cast Chameleon, Mirriath, if you want to
I'm
cast Chameleon
going-
before you did that, Dumac, if you wanted to enchant invisible onto something and wear it, you could too. Prior.
Yeah, I'll put it on my gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put some
Aye.
enchant invisible on my gloves.
You pass Mirriath for sure. You're chameleoned out.
Except I changed the spell. Alasil. Bala. Kalna. I'm going to cast night vision.
Oh, cool.
I need night eye.
Cool. You need night eye, yeah. Logan, you definitely pass too.
Yeah, I got a 50. Yeah, that's a pass.
Yeah, for sure. Which is awesome. And so, both of you pop them. You guys are Dumac, you're completely invisible. Mirriath, you're slightly refracting light, but you also have night eye to pierce through any darkness. And you guys sneak on through. Dillion, you're still here, either reading or observing Norb just
Yeah,
trade
I mean,
punches
he left-
with this captain.
He left that caltrop, right?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, like flick the caltrop as I'm and then pulling out, inscribing the rune, and just going shh and vanishing.
All right. So this is what I think I need to do with it. I'm gonna pick it up and toss it to Norb. Be like, finish it.
With the caltrop?
Yeah. It's like hitting
So you
someone with
pick
a
up
rock,
this-
right?
So you throw a caltrap
So-
at me.
Yeah, that shit is bury it in his head or his face. Hey, Norb.
Dylan, make a throwing check for me real quick. I just want to see
I
if
was
it.
hoping you wouldn't make me roll.
I wonder if it hits Athlor maybe instead. It does. So you lob this like small iron ball with 3 big spikes on it, and like almost like a triangle shape. One of the spikes goes right into the back of this captain, this general, I should say, and kind of like starts bleeding. But he throws it out, and he's like, you know what, please, we're almost done here, right? Norb, roll for me a single time. Let's see what happens.
Okay, I just I'm almost done with this book, so.
Okay. You get one last good punch in. He, again, relatively unfazed, but he himself dings out. He's like, it's done. This was not a test to see if you could knock me down or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's not looking for a battle to the death or anything like that. He says to you that very, very few have stood like this and lasted for so long. You have been punching for like an hour, or like a very long time at this point. And so he's just sort of like, listen, it's okay. I actually do trust you, because if this is you alone, the 4 of you can achieve untold greatness. Each in your own right, but together, equally unfathomable to whatever you're going to find down there. He fortifies your health further, an extra 5. And he's like, go with Oriel. We know that you have our interest in hand. And with the caltrop not there, they actually... They vow not to hurt the Admoran host. While you are searching, they will decide what to do with them, or like the remainder on the way back, depending on how it goes. Right? So with a tentative alliance, or at least a truce, maybe a temporary truce even is a better description, the rest of, Dillion and Norb, you continue on and meet with Mirriath and Dumac. Now, Mirriath and Dumac, both of you went there much earlier, so you were able to recon, scout, and get a feel for the area. And I just wanted to see if there was anything you guys wanted to talk about or do before we rejoined all 4 of you.
Let you break the silence, Duma.
If the power that is within these halls is of my people's make, it's my duty to make sure we contain it. It's also my people's legacy that we're talking about here. Maybe of
What
use.
legacy have you?
Damn.
Godless one.
Damn.
Initiative?
I may have. I may have sworn an oath to Malakath in order to obtain this. But it's still a gift to my people in hopes that I can find lost technology and bring it back to us.
Mirriath, at this point, you do notice that from this accursed warhammer, riddled with a blood-red gem in the center of it, and almost pulsing with like corrupted, fermented veins, oozing black liquid, in the hammer, leading into sort of like thorns that cut into Dumac's arms. And you actually haven't seen Dumac put it down. You're not even sure that they can. And you've heard tell of this. They told you that, they told you the truth. It is in fact a relic of Malakath, an accursed warhammer known as Volendrun. A former Dwemeri warhammer, cursed by his greatness, and a symbol of the pariah that Dumac has become for wielding this. They are no longer a friend to Dwemer, or to anyone, even the orcs don't accept. The Orsimer don't, because they're of a different faction. They don't trust their, anybody except their own. And you start to realize that Dumac probably has, that this is the best way they think they can serve the Dumacs back home, Dumac Dwarf King most particularly, by advancing the interests of the Dwemeri, whether or not they shun them, right? So.
Dumac, what choice were you made to make where this was the wisest one?
The choice of rejoining my folk.
The folk.
This hammer once belonged to them, and it shall return one day, along with any other technology I find within these ruins, and the ruins beyond.
So with that,
If this... Yeah?
sorry, go ahead. No, please.
If this goes the way I need it to, Dillion can take it far away from me. I don't think it's going to go this way. We need to bury this thing. And it can be buried. It's been lost. It's up to us to do it.
But why? Why is whatever this is so bad?
For every generation of our kind, these men take a dozen. We can't make martyrs out of them. They'll come back in droves. The Falmer, my kind, will exterminate them, but that's not all of them. They'll be back. It would be the end of my kind if this were in the hands of anyone or anything. And it needs to be in the ground.
I think you know better than anybody my people can put things in the ground pretty well.
That's true.
But if you feel certain
is-
you have a way to get it there.
So there's a discussion of whether or not to go with Falmeri or Dwemeri, ownership or reconciliation for this. One
Oh, I
idea
have-
is ceiling here. Yeah,
Uh,
no, you're arguing for
Dumac would make it apparent that he has no intention of actually giving it to the Felmer. Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah. Logan bullshitted a big game and then rolled really well. So yeah, that's not happening.
Worked out great. Worked out great. Dylan and Norb, as you're leaving, Athlor grabs your arm, Dylan, before you go in, and he says to you,
Whoa.
"Listen, I speak to you because you're not aligned with the interests of the others. You may feel, whereas they may feel a kinship to one leader or another, I doubt you will. You have very little personal stake in this, I imagine.
Yeah, I have few loyalties. In general.
They're out of their league, and I know you're here as a worker, a scholar, a learner. You will find what you seek to find, and you won't like it. But, just so you know, and again, this is why I tell you this, both of them, the Snow Prince, my king, as well as Ysgramor, their master and overlord, dictator even, they both are very short distance away from Sarthal, my scouts have reported. They send me messages to, communicate in these subterranean environments. And the most recent update we got was not even 10 minutes ago. Both of them will soon reach the city gates, and both of them will war and rage until they get to the same spot that we are. Wherein we will lose all agency we have. If there is a decision to be made, it has to be made relatively soon, and I trust that you'll relay this without letting them choose one side or another blindly. So.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Yeah.
Let's go.
Good luck in your travels.
Suffer
Okay,
well,
bye.
Mead.
Can
I don't like suffering. No.
I have made
and
like
then you
an
guys
insight check of some
rejoin.
kind from when he made that promise. I just want to make some kind of like insight into whether
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he
of
seems
course.
sincere, but I am holding every single possibility that he
Yeah. You don't want
will kill every single one of those
Yeah.
people.
It could very easily happen, right? So I get that.
So
That 36, the 16.
Uh,
Okay,
16.
for sure. You pierce right through any misdoings or that he might be up to, and no, definitely, like, especially because he gave you the caveat that he would kill them or something. He would figure it out later, right? Like, depending on what happened. But he does think that even if he's not 100% sure that you're going to give it to him, he just hopes that whatever you do with it, it doesn't fall in either of their hands, right? Even though he does seem as drawn to it as the others. So you rejoin, and both of you, the four of you, start to arrive at this, this door that opens easily in front of you. And you see a throne, what looks to be the throne of Ysgramor, really, for lack of a better, there could be nothing else that's like this. You're at the bottom. With a mysterious, gnarled wooden staff with a blue orb at the end humming, laying sideways against the throne. And a circular room as the four of you enter.
Can anyone search for traps? I suck at it. I often find traps before I want to.
Yeah, this
I'll
would be a
just
good place for a
take a look.
navigation
Just
check.
realized.
Sorry,
I
what's
have
up?
night eye.
Yeah, I can.
Night eye. Okay, that's good. It is pretty dark. You see immediately with your night eye. Actually, good. That's a good point. The cracks in the wall look a little too uniform towards the back of the throne, like the wall segment immediately facing away from the throne, the back of the throne. And after, and you realize that it is a false wall that it raises, but you're not sure how to open it.
What is this?
Oh no. Maybe someone
Can't really
knock over that
can't really
staff
see.
by throwing something.
Don't
This
touch
is
the
too
staff.
far. Also, I was talking to the guy earlier, and apparently, no one wants you guys to have this item, and it's going to cause war and stuff like that. So maybe we should talk briefly about what happens at the end of this.
Hmm.
Or not. We
I've-
could just go on.
Well, what do we?
Yeah,
Well,
I have-
what do we think? Where should it go?
My faith in
wanna
Ysgramor
live.
is whatever the elves could possibly throw at Ysgramor, wherever he is. He will kill he will kill every last elf in his path for this. Whatever piece of technology, whatever piece of magic is down here.
Which is true. The majority, a lot of Morans died in this invasion, but at this point, many of the Snow Elf army is also inside. And if they were to be routed now, the majority of them would die as well. So there is a lot on the line.
Sounds like we gotta get this thing far away so people don't
Is there-
die.
There must be a way to leave without. And I'm going to begin walking toward the back end of the room where those markings were that Mirriath had pointed to.
Mhm.
Usually places in the deep, when you find an end, it's usually also a beginning. And I'll begin searching for a way to open up, like, that portion of the wall.
Do a navigate check for me.
Alright.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well,
Roll
and I
20
know-
likes me today, guys.
Wow.
Roll 20 really likes me today. Yeah, and I have
and your skill rank is high, so you would direct that anyway.
my
That's
skill
like a
rank in
sub one.
Navigate is Journeyman.
He's pretty
So
good.
It's a
That's
minus
still
or a plus 20.
yeah,
Plus
it's
20.
plus 20. Yeah, that's still a plus 20. So you're sub 1 here. So while you are walking over, you do kick the staff. What happens is that as you walk over and you kick the staff, it rolls by its orb closer to the wall, and it starts pulsing louder. It starts I should say that it starts audibly humming, and it starts pulsating more frequently, giving off a greater cyan hue each time. As it finally rolls to a stop near the door, it's reached kind of like a peak of fluctuation, and you know that the staff is inherently tied to the door. Upon picking up the staff, and getting it just 1 inch closer, the panel opens up, revealing a much larger circular room in what seems to be like, how could I describe this? The light that comes off from actually, this is a better way. Mirriath, your night eye, past a certain surface area of the room, cannot pierce the darkness behind it. It's almost as if whatever's there doesn't exist. So there's no way that light could occupy that space. Right? So try not to touch it. And then what opens in front of you, at the center of what seems to be this almost like abyss grotto, is a low pulsing, floating Dumac puzzle orb with many, many trillions of machinations and minor gears turning, constantly recalculating, almost as if it's moving, alive, right?
My God. Oriel's grace. It's
We made it.
Dumac. This is you then.
It's not just me. It's
No.
all of us. This is our choice. Together.
What do we do? What do we do?
If we bury this, if we put it farther down, if we make it descend farther into the earth, what then? Do they come forward again? Do they just dig farther back down? Do they? What do they do? Do they? Or do they
Quick
forget
answer.
about it? What do
They do. Both faction leaders do know what's there, and they both have powerful mages on their side, each of them individually. It is likely that, like, you're right, like they wouldn't forget about it, so they would continue to try. Is the answer? Like, yes. So.
What do you?
I say
What
we
do you all
take it and
suggest?
flee.
We can't bury it here.
Dillion flew where?
Far. I mean, there's other lands, other places. Let's get a boat. Let's go. Let's sell it
No.
to some merchant far away.
We're surrounded. They're all around us. And over top, Dillion.
But
Will
maybe
not
one
leave
of
my
us
people
can
to
get out.
die.
Oh man. Oh yeah, yeah, that sounds like an issue. Well, you know, constructive criticism. Let's keep spitballing here.
We can... I can charm them.
All of them?
What do you know of... Oh. This thing. This grace. It can be everything. It can be too much.
What is it?
The eye.
Mirriath and Dumac, both of you, please do a combined lore test for me. Roll them each on your own, and let's see if you both succeed.
Kill me now. Oh wow, that's bad. I failed.
Oh,
now roll 20
It's,
decides. Now roll 20 decides to hate me.
Eat it.
Okay. Yeah, you did. So, Mirriath was the primary here, so, you know, as it is a Falmeri artifact. Dumac, what you notice, because I mean, actually, what's your skill rank for lore?
For lore is adept.
Journeyman.
So I do what mine. I think it's what. Actually, I think my adept or my
Okay.
lore is my lore is 60.
Okay. Oh. Well, I mean, then you're under.
Oh, am I under?
Okay. Yeah. No.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you're,
because
yeah,
that's
you're good.
97.
Yeah,
That'd
because
be minus. Yeah, you're right. Yep, that's yep.
you're good. Okay. So together, Dumac, you can tell that this is such an advanced. We'll start with you first. You can tell this is such an advanced orb, the likes of which you've never seen before. It seems older than any Domeri object you've ever seen, which is saying something, because there are people so old in Domeri culture like you can't remember who they are, kind of thing. But it seems like it was custom crafted, right? And that's the important part here. Upon further inspection, you can tell that this is meant to hold a lot of something, whether that be, and this is Elder Scrolls, right? So it can be very metaphysical. It can be energy, data, information, the soul, however you want to interpret that, but something so strong that Ysgramor felt that it had to have it's so complex it almost mirrors like the cerebrum of like a mortal, right? It's almost like a brain kind of thing, right? Mirriath, you can tell that what's surging from the orb feels like you're next to the sun. Like as you're looking into it, you feel like you're gaining the strength of the sun and that you feel closer to Oriel than you've ever been. You can't confirm if it is Oriel or not, or Magnus or not, your deity who created the sun itself. And this is giving off such of the same energy, like it has to be the same. But you can't confirm who it actually is. You can talk who you want to, though.
This has to be Oriel. The light, the warmth, the air. We can seal this place off. Leave me here. I'll die
As the
here.
staff, as the staff gets closer to the eye, which, I mean, you now have a name for it. It is the Eye of Magnus, or you feel it. It's probably really the first reading of it that you're almost the first snow elf to even really get a look at it, probably, right? And so you can almost tell innately that it's an object of this great sun-like power. As the staff gets closer to it, it starts to open. It was sealed before. The rune's really not vibrating. And as the staff gets closer to it, it unwinds, begins to hum until it reaches the zenith of a pillar of this blue light, emanating constant energy. All of you feel like you're burning, like bright, like it's 1,000,000 degrees in the room, but there's nothing happening to you, right? No pain. So the staff is definitely key, and it's opening itself up to you, responding to you. It knows that whatever it is, it can intelligently react to whatever it is you guys decide to do with it. So
whoever wants access to this needs the key. And I immediately hand the staff to Dillion.
All right. What am I supposed to do with it now? Seems like a lot of
We
responsibility.
were thinking about hiding one item, but what if we're hiding two?
All right.
You take the
I'm
staff.
down for that.
You take the staff and hide it with wherever you travel. Mirriath and I can take the orb and hide it with mine.
So sorry, I just want to point out that it's probably so big that you wouldn't be able
this
to like
thing's massive.
physically. It's huge. Yeah. So like, there's no way for you guys to really carry it, but like because it's a very powerful object. You feel like I should have been clear. You feel like it'll respond to one of your wishes about what you want for it, and it'll try and comply with it, right? Whatever that be. So some time to discuss about so it'll help you. It'll help you do whatever it is you're trying to do because it'll trust you to an extent.
So now that it's open,
So-
it understands what we want, and it can. Okay.
Yeah, Dylan.
Can
Sorry.
it like hear our thoughts and stuff? I'm
Yes,
gonna like
yes.
test. I'm
Yes,
like,
it can.
I want the power to protect everyone. Like I want the power to destroy armies.
It teaches you Blizzard, a master level
Teaches
frost
me-
spell.
Oh, it's gonna need much more than that. I'm like,
You know,
oh,
but
yeah.
as a quick just like show you its power. You know, you like instantly know it. It's like you've always known it. It's never not been there.
Well, fellas, all right. Let me spitball here. What if we use the power to repel the invading forces, massacre their lands, and take over this land as rulers of some sort? Is this throne empty? I'm gonna like
I think
sit
that's
down on
I will
exactly
kill
what-
you myself.
For once, I kind of like full-heartedly agree with Mirriath.
Oh my god! Oh my Oreo! Oh my Alduin!
now. Just think about it, right? We can go our separate ways. We can try to hide this thing, but eventually it will be found. Now, might is a lot harder to conquer. If we can create a safe haven here using this thing's power, we get to dictate who uses it. And if we can prevent it from falling in enemies' hands, and people who would abuse it.
It starts to warble orange because
I'm going.
it's a little worried that you might destroy its followers or people that it finds close to.
Hey, buddy, we'll
Mirriath?
protect them.
Hey, buddy. It goes back to a little blue. Like it goes back closer to blue. It's like all right, okay. Mirriath, what were you gonna say?
we got you, fan.
Retreat to speak with Norb.
Norb.
Dillion. He's not sound.
No.
They mustn't. They were brought
Shouldn't
maybe
exist.
to save. It should. And yet here it is. What do we do?
If there's a way,
It's hard.
if there's a way to ensure that this does not exist from here forward, what could we possibly do?
Okay.
Because we are fighting. No. Sorry. If we. It's a lot of thinking. This is a lot of thinking for Norb. Norb can't think about this.
This
This
is I feel like
this
you're on
is
a
generation destroying.
Norb,
If
I'm going to make a rash
it doesn't
decision.
exist, there's nothing. If this doesn't exist, there's nothing to fight over. If this isn't
And yet
here,
here it is.
it's. So let's make it not here by
So
getting rid of it. We need to. If we
you talk about sorry. So you mentioned the word destruction. It's getting like destroying it. It starts to warble violently red, and it does appear that you have
Yeah.
confirmed that it does put self-preservation above the lives of its followers. Still.
Can I touch it?
So, yes.
I'm gonna pet it and be like, shh, you're okay. I'll protect you.
As you touch it,
I,
you see visions of a celestial's head floating in the ethereal like void with green gases coming out of its like decayed and dilapidated like nostril and mouth cavities, and you see like in the distance what looks to be a mass of roots floating through this void, and the roots start talking to you and make you see yourself from the perspective of the roots, and then you flash
Oh.
back to this point.
Dumac,
Oh man.
man. I have a plan. Follow through and forgive me, please. Dillion was not meant to be a part of this story. He's blind. I'll distract them.
Warbles back, Cyan, like
There's
back
nothing
back to
he
calm.
seems to want more than the power of the eye. That's the same reason why we need to get rid of it. I will speak to him. I trust when the time is right.
Petting the orb.
Give him exactly. And I'll point to the hole that sort of telescopes and oscillates open and shut by the sort of pseudo-aperture. And when the time is right, give him what he wants.
Be done.
Okay.
At this point, you start to hear rumbling. And, excuse me, you feel like very soon, combat, not people, war will come through those gates. Any absolute last
Dillion,
machinations on this?
What?
give me
Hey.
the staff.
Come on. Oh. Okay.
Give me the staff. Okay. It was a lot easier than I thought. How sturdy is this staff? How sturdy is it? Is it like nice? Oh, like is it like super?
It's like petrified wood. It's like pretty hard.
It's
It's
like
it's nothing almost. It's like pretty hard to mess up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mahogany. Be careful with it.
Mahogany.
Yeah.
Um,
I look at the orb. I look at the orb and I say, I don't know what you want. And I don't know why you even exist. But
It warbles softly, almost like in a melancholic fashion. Like when you talk about its existence, like
Yeah, Norb, come on. We all struggle with that. Like, I don't know why the hell I'm existing. You don't know either.
Where do you even come from?
if
and then
if there's
it flashes.
if there's
it flashes. Sorry, go ahead.
if there's no key to open this orb, then I could live with that. And if that means that I have to die with that to save whatever goes on up there, okay. And I'm gonna try and snap the thing over my knee.
The key. Okay.
Not your knees.
So prior
Not over your knees.
prior to you breaking it, it does. You know, when Dumac asks like where it came from, it flashes the same vision that it showed Dylan of this like place between yes and no, right? Like, and that seems ever expanding. Like, so with the vision of the roots and like seeing yourself from these perspectives, and then the celestial head with the green gases like flowing outside of it, right? So you try to break it. Do me a. Is it like a morality check, like rather than like a strength check? No, I'll do combat style for me. Let's see what
Knee
happens.
check.
Knee check. Staff to the knee check. Like this is. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Like,
just pick whatever
let's see.
knee gut.
Knee,
Years
choice you
later,
wanna make
years later,
here.
Norb the Nord becomes a guard.
Yes. This is why you can't go on.
I got a 3. What do you want me to
Okay.
add?
Broke your knee over.
No,
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Hey.
So you break this like the petrified wooden portion right in the middle, and it seems like the staff itself has like lost its vigor, right? As the eye begins to shut down. Or at least seemingly, close up and lose some of its power. It does still have enough to like it will comply with the request. Like it doesn't seem like it's done yet. At this point, sorry, what? Anybody? Yeah, what?
Yeah, I was gonna extend my hand
Uh-huh.
after I see him unsuccessfully break the staff, but it's still going.
Mhm.
And just think, go.
No. Wait. Wait. It's connected. Might this not be Oriel? This is... It was looking for my kind. Calling to them of deceit. A trickery. What is this? What foul machination? Masquerading as the divine. I know this. This is deception.
Roll for me. Roll for me, deception check.
You.
Roll for me.
47.
Okay.
I persuade at 90.
Yeah. So, and I know you can substitute that. So, you like kind of look into it. You get the vision again, and you're right. You don't get a sense of divine energy, but you do get a sense of familial kinship, something closer to another Myrrh, really, than this proposed deity. It almost speaks to you, and now that the staff is broken, it feels a little more comfortable that it won't be used as like straight up like an end all be all weapon, right? But it does have enough to change one of the outcomes here. It kind of presents you with a choice where it shows you like this, like, it basically asks the four of you, and the four of you are allowed to respond differently, of course, if you would like bloodshed or peace, right? And it's okay with either, as long as it's fine, right? Because there is a destabilizing presence in the region. War is coming. You know, you can decimate both sides.
War is coming.
Like, and kind of preempt it maybe if you feel like, I mean, the faction leaders are within the area. You might be able to prevent it this way and stop them from, taking control of this object. Or you can prevent it for another day, maybe a chance for peace.
I have a final plea. Oh, I. A spell to forget. It would help me at a time like this. But with your reach, your power, you could make us all forget. You're one of us. And I point to Dumac. You're Myrrh. Kill me, spare me, feed me. To my own kind, I don't care, that's my pledge. One request. Let us all forget this night. The night of tears. I'm gonna walk away from the platform.
It pulsates wildly as soon as you finish talking. It's like it blue, not red, not orange, like the brightest blue. The others, what's up?
If you are so wise, whatever you are, you know the path to take. And I'll turn and follow Mirriath.
What for what you are and all the power you hold. After the bloodshed that they have caused on my people, I want no more. Want no and no more Admoran blood to soak Tamriel this night. Then I walk northwards.
Dylan.
Dillion will approach and pet it and say, I have healed enough wounds to understand that humanity and the people therein that live in these great nations don't want peace. Peace is long and boring. It flitters about and people get bored. And then violence comes across on the shore once again, over and over. So let's be done with it here and now. I seek violence. I seek pestilence, a disease to spread throughout the people above that will cripple their lungs, cause them blurred vision, diarrhea, a plague of sorts that will rot their corpses and prevent them from ever seeing the light of day again. Let's end this so that no more people have to suffer ever again. That's my vote. All right.
Okay. So, after tallying the votes and hearing exactly what the people have stated, it you know, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, it is color coded. So it starts to hum a pale yellow. The Snow Prince and Ysgramor, these mythical figures of Tamrielic history at the core of so much, through the doors, each of them a spear at the throat of Ysgramor, Wuthrad at the throat of the Snow Prince, the elf killer, and their honor guard behind them. The orb hums a pale yellow, and it speaks almost through the mind of everybody, you know, almost like a sort of this kinetic energy, essentially damning these two faction leaders that will bring this area to ruin, both of them. One imprisoning it and trapping it, the other one a cousin who will use their fanaticism to rescue her, or it. What's happening, you know, from stopping this. Behind the Snow Prince, the honor guard shrivel, almost in front of everybody there. All visible Falmeri, except for Mirriath, start losing stature, pose, even their facial structure changes almost before them. And Volendrung, the cursed Warhammer, feels stronger than ever in the presence of these newly accursed. Malakath is happy, Volendrung is happy for Dumac. At the same time, every Nord, or Etmoran, in sight, shy of Ysgramor himself, starts coughing up blood immediately. They all fall to their knees and die within minutes. every Atmoran in Sarthal dead as the party walks up the levels back to the outdoors as a new dawn breaks. Each Falmer running, scared, downstairs into walls, blinded, seemingly. The Falmeri have been cursed forever, and every Nord on Tamriel, every man in this region, essentially dead, with Isramor having to start all over again. As the party walks out and they see the sun, they wonder if... oh, sorry, Nord.
Did I die? Did I just...
No.
Okay.
No.
Just making
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, of course. No, the party seems insulated from the effects, right? But such as Mirriath not succumbing to the curse.
Yay!
At this point, the runes on the Elder Scroll that originally housed this vision, so at the forefront of the prophecy of this moth priest, unbeknownst to him of what, who really chose what that day, or what the eye really was, or who really started the fight first, whether Ysgramor really imprisoned it, or whether the Snow Prince just wanted it. Did that teach you enough about what you needed to know? About how the scrolls work? Do you get it now?
It should suffice, sir.
I understand that
thank
you have
you
other
for
studies
your
to
time.
attend to. Sorry.
A full itinerary, dear moth priest. Rubbing his golden palms.
Yes, well, I'll leave you to your studies at the Arcane University. At the Imperial University, I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name, Acolyte.
The name won't matter yet. But you should remember, it's Ancano. Good day, Imperial. As I stride off.
And that is where we will cut to a close for tonight.
Woo! Everything worked out.
Yeah. Mass genocide.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So in the end, you did kill. You did successfully complete the Night of Tears as is prophesized. You started the Falmer curse, and everybody who was there forgot about Ysgramor and the Snow Prince, who were allowed to leave, forgot about the Eye, who stayed buried forevermore. So, good job. Things came to pass not very differently than they would eventually from the records that we know now in the Imperial Library. That was fantastic. You guys did amazing. I've been wanting to run something like that for literally a decade and a half now, and it's been my dream to do so. And I'm so happy. So we're gonna do some player outros now, and we'll start with our newly streaming friend, Drew.
Hi. Yep, my name's Drew. I just started, and I'm happy to have been a part of this. This was really fun.
Happy to have you. Do you have any socials or anything they could follow you at? Any Twitter, Twitch, anything?
Yeah, I've got an Instagram, and that's it. And I'll figure it out what it is right now. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it's literally it's just Drew. It's just Drew Polly. DREWPOLY. It's just Drew Polly. That's all.
Let's get it. It's just Drew Polly.
That's it. It's just Drew Polly.
That's awesome.
DREWPOLY.
Yep. And our good friend Logan here at DM Screening.
Yeah, I'm Logan. I also go by DM Screening. DM_screening on Instagram at DM Screening this side. On the Twitter Also on Twitch, it's DM_screening as well. D&D content, and going to be launching, starting the second episode of the prologues for my 5e stream. The SKYRIM expeditions will be tomorrow, and then that'll kick off once we have all the prologues done in September for a full-fledged, full-party campaign set in my homebrew world. So yeah, if you want to come check it
That's
out,
awesome.
feel free, come check it out. If not, like, that's cool too.
Come have fun, everybody.
Yeah.
Last but not, or third, I shouldn't say
Second to
last.
last,
yet,
not second to least.
second to last is Mitchell.
Yeah, hi. I am Mitchell, also known as Penny for a Tale on all the social medias. I am the co-creator of Penny for a Tale LLC, which includes Weave the Tale and Penny for a Tale. I'm also a writer, Necrobiotic. It just came out a couple months ago on Kickstarter. The backer kit's out right now, and you'll see me again on Kickstarter this coming October doing the TTRPG for the New York best-selling comic book Chew. So make sure to check that out. That's going to be really cool. Other than that, you'll find me at Gen Con, PAX Unplugged, as well as Origins, doing panels and stuff related to such. And yeah, super excited. Come check me out.
And just a note on that, catch me next week for a Necrobiotic one-shot here on the same channel. And, you know, normally I'd say follow Mitchell for some information on Chew, but in this case, follow my Twitter if you want some information on Chew for some unannounced content. So thanks for that, Mitchell. And now, last but not least, our wonderful tech and player at the same time, wrecking it, Ian.
Well, let's see. Let's see if the shortcut even works. Wait for it.
does.
There it is.
It
Hello, I'm Ian. Tonight I played Mirriath, the Fulma, and Ankano. The Altmer from Skyrim, by the way. I don't know if you caught it. I'm gonna spoil it for people who wanted to figure it out in their head, maybe.
It's been 10 years. It's been 10
But,
years. It's fine.
Yeah, happy birthday, Skyrim. Yeah, that was Ankano inquiring about the existence of the Eye of Magnus in the
Guess where he learned it
unreliable
from.
plot device that was the reading of an Elder Scroll. Yeah,
Ooh. So.
but it was a great time. You can find me here. You can find me on Penny for a Tale. We're pretty connected. You can find me on the Discord all the time. Just follow us and follow the linky trees. But that's all I've got. I'll send
Yeah.
it to you.
And lastly, me. My name's Anthony. I'm happy to run. I haven't been streaming for long, but I'm doing plenty for Weave the Tale now, and it's a lot of fun. Catch me for some Necrobiotic and maybe some Chew content on my Twitter, amongst other things. And my Twitter is right here at Praying the Plague. Thank you guys so much for watching and taking part of this Elder Scrolls journey with us that I've been dreaming of for so long. Have a wonderful night, everyone.